Hello, I'm Mr. Malden, and this is the Middle School Math Toolbox, where I teach you how to become a middle school math master. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button down below. Today we're going over identifying different kinds of solids, different kind of polyhedrons, prisms, and pyramids. We just have to understand how to name them, and then we also want to understand what a cross-section is. All right, so let's just go ahead and get right into this. These are all polyhedrons, and the reason why they're polyhedrons is because they are three-dimensional shapes, three-dimensional solids that have flat sides, straight edges, and pointed corners. All right. Now I have one right here in front of me. It's a cube. Okay, and this is a polyhedron because it has flat sides, straight edges, and pointed corners. By the way, the corners we call vertices for plural, or a vertex for singular. Now you see here on your screen, you've got all kinds of different polyhedrons right here. You've got a pyramid right here. That's a triangular pyramid. You've got a rectangular prism. You have a rectangular pyramid right here. And then you've got a triangular prism. So we're going to go over how to just name those. Why did I call that a rectangular prism? Why did I call that a rectangular pyramid? And why did I call that a triangular prism? So we're going to go over that. So let's just dive right into that, and let's start talking about prisms, all right? Prisms are polyhedrons. So again, a polyhedron is a shape that has flat sides, straight edges, pointed corners. So prisms have flat sides, straight edges, and pointed corners. Here's an example of a prism right here. They are polyhedrons that have two congruent bases and then rectangular faces. All right. So let's just kind of talk about this one right here. This is a triangular prism. All right. And I'll tell you how I call or why I called it a triangular prism in just a second. But this is a prism. All right. Because first of all, it's a polyhedron. It's straight, flat sides, straight edges, pointed corners. And it's a prism because you have two congruent bases. You have a bottom and a top. Now, I don't like to use the word bottom and top usually because I don't want you just think that it always has to sit on the bottom or it always has to sit on the top. All right. Prisms can sit however it likes to. All right. Or however the question wants to present it to you. But you just need to know that your two parallel sides, all right, your two congruent parallel sides are going to be your bases. And then we also know that we have rectangular faces on prisms. Every prism has a rectangular face. All right, so now let me talk to you about how to name this. Why do I call this a triangular prism? All right, whenever you're going to name a prism or a pyramid, you start by recognizing if it's a prism or a pyramid, and then you're going to find the base, and whatever shape the base is, that's what kind of prism or rectangle, or prism or pyramid that it is. All right, so this is a prism. That's the base, all right, which is a triangle. And so this is going to be a triangular prism. All right. Now then, why did I call that the base and not that? All right. Because if it were sitting down, I obviously, you could see, you might be tempted to see that the base is the bottom. But what if I set it like this? All right. Well, you might call the bottom the base again. And so that's why I don't want you to get confused by calling the bottom automatically the base. The base is whatever side is parallel to another congruent side, all right? So you've got two sides that need to be congruent. Now then, on a prism, because all the faces are rectangles, if you ever have a shape on a prism that is not a rectangle, it's automatically the base, all right? Because by nature, prisms have to have rectangular faces. So when you have a shape that has two congruent sides parallel to one another, then the next thing you need to do is find any shape on that is not a rectangle. If you find one, then that's automatically the base. So this right here, the triangle is automatically the base because it's not a rectangle. It's a prism, right? And that's why we call this a triangular prism, all right? Now then, you sometimes see it like kind of drawn out like that, all right, where you've taken a three-dimensional shape and you've unfolded it to find the sides. The reason why we want to do this, by the way, this is called a net, All right, that's a net. And the reason why we would want to do that is if we ever need to find the area of the surface. Okay, so if you need to find the area of the surface, you're going to unfold that three-dimensional object, draw it as a net, all right? And then you just need to find the area of each of these shapes and add them all together to be able to find the area of the surface. All right, that's called surface area. And that's going to be the nature of a future video, but just so you know, that's what that is. All right. Let's go on to pyramids. So prisms have two bases, okay, with rectangular faces. Pyramids have only one base, all right? So this is a pyramid because there's only one base. And then the other side of that, it comes to a point at the top. All the faces will come to meet together at a point at the top. All right, so you've got this pyramid right here, and the reason why it's a pyramid is because you've got one base and you've got all the faces coming together on the other side to a point. So if they don't all come to the point, they're a pyramid. If they do all come to a point, they're a pyramid. If they don't come to a point, like this one, we just saw a second ago, this one did not come to a single point at the top. That would be a prism, all right? So pyramids are polyhedrons, flat sides, straight edges, pointed vertices, all right, that have one base, all right, and then also the other distinguishing mark of a pyramid is it has triangular faces. All the faces of a pyramid, all the way around, no matter what the shape of the base is, all the faces will always be triangles, all right? So pyramids are polyhedrons with one base and triangular faces. And the key, the key indicator that's a pyramid is that all the faces come to a single point at the top right up there. If you're drawing it as a net, it might look like this. You would start with the base, and then you could just put a triangle on each of the bases, just like that, on each of the lines of the base, and that would be a net. You want to find a net whenever you're trying to find the surface area of something. All right, so now let's go on to naming these. All right, we talked about it a second ago that whenever you're naming a pyramid or a prism, you have to pay attention to what the base is, and whatever the shape the base is, that's going to be the name of the prism or pyramid. So let's just go back for a second to review. That was a pyramid, all right? The reason why it's a pyramid is it comes to a point at the top, all right? And then what kind of pyramid is it? Look at the base. What shape is the base? That's a triangle. So this is a triangular pyramid, right? The one on your screen. I want you to pause the video, think about the name, and then come back once you think you know what the name is and unpause the video, see if you got it correct. This one on the screen is a triangular prism, all right? The reason why it's prism is it doesn't all come to a single point at the top, all right? This side over here doesn't meet the top of their, at the top vertices or vertex, right? So it's not a pyramid, so it has to be a prism. And then I'm going to look for any shape that's not a rectangle. And I see one. It's a triangle right here. All right, so that is a triangle. That would tell me that shape right there is automatically the base because it's not a rectangle. Therefore, this is a triangular prism. All right, let's move to the next one. Think about what the name for that one is, and then come back to see if you got it correct. All right, my first test is to see if this all comes to a point at the top, and it does. Therefore, it's a pyramid. All right, then I'm going to look at the base to see what shape is the base. That's a hexagon because there's 6 equal sides down there. So this is a hexagonal pyramid. Let's go to the next one. All right, I see that they don't all come to a same point at the top. If you haven't thought about the name already, go ahead and think about that and then come back. It doesn't come to a point at the top, so it's not a pyramid, so it has to be a prism because it's got flat sides, straight edges, and pointed corners. All right? And I don't see any other shape other than a rectangle. So this is a rectangular prism. All right, let's try the next one. I see a bunch of triangles. I see this rectangle right here. But the main thing that I see is all the sides come to a single point at the top. Therefore, this is a pyramid. All right? Now, the kind of pyramid it is, I'm going to look at the base. The shape of the base is a rectangle, so this is a rectangular pyramid. All right, see if you can do this one by yourself and then come back to see if you got the right answer. All right, it is a pyramid because it all comes to a point at the top. And therefore, I'm going to look at the base. It's a triangle, so this is going to be a triangular pyramid. And last one. See if you can come up with the name for this one. All right, this one does not come to a single point at the top. Therefore, it has to be a prism. And whenever I know it's a prism, I'm going to automatically look for any shape that's not a rectangle. And I see one. Here's the shape right here. It's a five-sided shape. It's a pentagon. Therefore, that pentagon is the base because it's not a rectangle. Any shape on a prism that's not a rectangle is automatically the base. All right, so this pentagon is the base. So this is a pentagonal prism. All right, let's go on now to understanding cross-section. And cross-section is really easy, but sometimes students get this wrong because they just don't know what it is. They just don't understand it. There's really not much math involved. You just got to have some recognition, okay? A cross-section is if I took this cube and I sliced it somewhere, all right? I'm creating a cross-section. All right, and when I slice it, questions like to do is they like to ask you what shape is the cross section in the image. All right, so you've got this figure right here, this image, and you see that that this prism is being has a plane that's intersecting it. All right, so it's making a cross section right here. You're seeing it's being sliced right here by this straight plane, the straight line or flat surface. All right, the cross section, the shape of the cross section is whatever shape we made when we sliced that three-dimensional figure. All right, so when we sliced it right here, it made the shape of a triangle for the cross section. And again, not super hard. But it's just remembering what a cross-section is. If you remember that it's just a three-dimensional object being sliced, then often they're just asking you what is the name of that that cross-section, or the shape. What is the shape of that cross-section? So right here, this one was sliced. The part that was shaded in is a triangle, so therefore the shape is a triangle. Try this one right here. What's the cross-section? What's the shape of the cross-section for the image you see on your screen? Well, we split this image right here. We sliced it, and the portion that the shape that it made when we sliced it is a pentagon. So the cross-section here is a pentagon. And last one, they like to do these right here where they do it kind of like catty corner, right? If I were to take this rectangular prism and slice the corner off of it, right, then what shape would that make? What would the shape of the cross-section be? It would be a triangle because that's what you see shaded in right here. That's the shape that cross-section would make. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, as always, you can hit the like button down below, share it with your friends, and then if you have any questions or comments or anything, put that in the comments down below. I'll answer you. So I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.